The title is Dating, Marriage. I'm going to tell you about dating and marriage, which I remember hearing from my friend M, who taught college students a long time ago, my friend P, and my high school teacher Q, etc. 1. I heard that a handsome ROTC student A was deeply in love with his girlfriend B, and even after they broke up, she kept in touch with him. I don't know what happened to him after he graduated. 2. There was a student C who was discharged from the army and was very funny and popular, like the late comedian Lee Ju-il. One day, the teaching assistant informed the department head that woman D had posted something on the department bulletin board. D, who is raising C's baby while working in the legal department of a large corporation, threatens to take legal action if she continues to avoid her. The department had guessed that the matter might be resolved amicably, but it was not. At that time, she was a sophomore in college, dropped out, and the department had never saw him again. Proverbs. There are three things which are too wonderful for me. For which I know not, the way a serpent upon a rock, and the way of a man with a maid. Deuteronomy, then the man that lay with her shall give unto a damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put away all his days. There is a large gap in time between the Bible era and today era, but in any case, humans should not commit wrongdoings, whether temporary or habitual. Even in ancient times, if a girl was wronged, the man who caused the wrong was supposed to take her as his wife and give her father 50 shekels of silver. 3. A father had a daughter of whom he raised alone after his wife died. After living happily with her for about 10 years, the father passed away from an illness. The father told his daughter that a time capsule would be buried to the right of his gravestone. The father told his daughter that when she met her fifth boyfriend, she should come with him and see what was in the time capsule. The daughter dated several bachelors who seemed to be interested in her, and after some breakups, she eventually meets the fifth bachelor and opens the time capsule next to her father's gravestone. The summary of the story is as follows. It was the father's last message to his daughter, telling her not to get married hastily, to date several people, and to take her time, get to know them, and then get married. 4. H, who graduated from the French literature department of a famous women's university in Seoul, married a bachelor named J, who passed the civil service examination and held a high-ranking government position. These days, men and women meet, and to save time, dozens of men and women take turns pairing up and talk for about 30 minutes, and it continues from morning to evening, so they say that they made about 16 marriage candidates a day. H and J also talked a lot, got to know each other, and probably got married. J seems okay, but his family is originally from the countryside, conservative, and has a disabled family member. H was not mentally prepared and understood everything. H had never been to J's parents' house before marriage. 5. Bachelor K studied dating maiden L and brought her home, and K's mother saw her. The mother put a stop to it, and it was the end. Teacher Q said that it is better to date without your parents knowing. We should listen carefully to everything they say. 6. The young man R is the president of the church youth group, and the young woman S is a member of the youth group. The two have different origins, but the same last name and seem to have been close. Often they could be heard quietly calling each other. After S immigrated to the United States, there was no more talk of S from R. 7. T is a man of friendship and loyalty. When he was in high school, he found out that his friends were being beaten by bullies from a nearby school, so he fought for his friends and was expelled and went to a different school and graduated. He graduated from a prestigious university with a degree in mathematics, but his girlfriend immigrated to the United States. It seems that his girlfriend has changed her mind. After spending a lot of money and making several international phone calls, they broke up. If this guy had been bombed on Bangyang Island, he would have turned the point of attack into dust. And if there had been an impeachment trial, the judges would have been afraid of him. 8. Yu was a pen pal in English with a Japanese girl during his middle and high school years. She sent him her photos and a Japanese doll as a gift. After he graduated from high school, their correspondence stopped. 9. A story from China. An American man, Yu, loved a Chinese woman, Wei, and they lived together for several years. When they were about to get married, Wei's family made excessive financial demands, so they ended up breaking up. Here's a story from America. An American man doubly dated a Chinese woman X who came to America to study, and they got married. Soon after, X's mother came to visit for tourism. Later, it turned out that without W's knowledge, X had applied for a green card for X's mother, and W had to take an interest in X's family who lived in China. X has spent a lot of money on her education and studying abroad in the US. So X's family believes that W should help her family, who live in China, settle in the United States. 10. Once a male student G invited two professors, including M, to a banquet for his parents and siblings at his home, and the two professors went there. Here's the thing. G had a girlfriend. They had a party with their parents, and two professors were there. The meeting and gathering were quite serious. Matthew said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. When a couple get married, they have to leave their parents, but if they don't, or if their parents interfere, problems arise. On the other hand, there is also a tradition of helping or supporting the parents if they are having difficulty living due to age, finance, etc. So couples planning to get married visit their partner's home several times before marriage should learn about their circumstances, their parents, siblings, personalities, political inclination, dependencies, hereditary diseases, financial situation, etc. If those planning to get married understand such things and make a firm decision to live together, then they should get married. This will reduce some of the problems in the future. This is especially true in cases where some Westerners or independent people marry other Easterners or highly dependent people. 11. When boy Y was in middle school, he went to a church where a girl liked him so much that she even made a sketchbook about him. As various hormones can secreted In humans, changes in the mind and body occur throughout the course of life. However, some people are unable to adjust control these changes by themselves or those around them, and incidents or problems occur for themselves, others, or society. This can have a significant impact on the lives of each person, those around them, or on society. I once heard of a case where a high school boy who got the attention of a pretty girl ended up having his future life ruined, including failing to get into college. You have to be careful of the beauty that can ruin a country life. In places like Thailand, there are stories of people living as monks for a year or so, or Mormons in the U.S. living as missionaries abroad once in their lives. And as a side effect, there are stories going through a process of training their mind and body. There is a reason why we need to go through life with hardships, even if it is on purpose. When we were young, 12, a young man appeared with a famous female celebrity. They got married, had children, and lived happily together. But later on, the young man caused a big problem by driving under the influence of alcohol. And the things went wrong. In the Bible, how wonderful it would have been if Joseph had overcome the temptation of his master Potiphar's wife and lived a blessed life. However, in the process, Joseph suffered greatly. There was an instant where David fell into the wrong temptation of a woman named Bathsheba and brought harm to himself, those around him, and his country. I wish life was smooth sailing, and I wish there were no problems like men falling for women like Bathsheba or women falling for men. But when humans experience excessive desires or hormones or fall into temptation, they end up on the path of fatal mistaken death. In mathematics, there is a problem of finding the limit value. When time t is sent to infinity, what will the variable x go to? In the meeting between humans, it may be good in the beginning, but when time passes infinitely in the middle and end, you never know where the human will end up. Who could have thought of that? When the US is rich, it can be seen as the world's policeman, but when it is struggling economically, it can cause difficulties for the world economy. When a person is physically and mentally healthy, it is okay, but when they become sick physically and mentally, it becomes a problem. People of the fire type are flamboyant, passionate, and generous, but when it goes to extremes like Werther referred to the novel The Sorrows of Goethe, they commit suicide with a flash grenade or sleeping pills. When time is increased and sent to infinity, what will happen to a person? Where will she go? She will go to the realm where God's will and grace are needed. Finally, Deuteronomy 22:28-29. In Japanese, in Chinese. Thank you.